There are many assignments, activities, and labs that we're going to do in class, but the one thing that you're going to do multiple times is reading our content pages and creating a study guide, a summary, taking notes on them. Now, all of the content pages that I give you, they have all of the information that you're going to learn in the class. We are going to do labs with this information. We're going to do practice problems with the information, activities, projects. But before we can do that, we first have to just get the content down. So reading the content is a good first step. What also helps you retain this information is reading it and taking notes. So you're going to be making study guides for every single content page that I give you. Now, to keep things consistent, clean, and organized, you're going to set up your study guides the same way every time. And this is the general format. You're going to have the date at the top right of your page, the date when you read and make a study guide. Then you're going to put the title of the content page. After that, you're going to copy down word for word the key idea. The key idea is the overarching concept for this content page, so we're going to write it down word for word. That is the only thing we're going to write down word for word, though. I do not want your study guide to be just a copy every single word off of the content page. That would be a waste of time. Now that you have your date, your title, and your key idea, before we start reading and taking notes, I want you to go over to the left column and make a vocab section. This is where you're going to write down any terms that you are unfamiliar with or that you don't know. They can be scientific terms, they could be anything. If you don't know it, write it down there. Learning new terms is very important for learning a new topic or a new subject. If you don't know the terminology, then you're not really going to understand what you're reading or what I'm talking about in class. So make sure you have that column here. The last thing you're going to make is an add-on section. I like to make this a little bit bigger than the vocab section, so I usually take a ruler, I line it up with that faint red line on the right side of the page, and I draw a line. Then I like to call this add-ons. You're going to leave that blank. So at this point, before you even start reading the content page, you have the date, the title, the key idea, a vocab section that's blank, and an add-on section that's blank. Now you're going to start creating your study guide. So you're going to read through the material and write down the most important things that you find in it. The way you write it down is up to you. It should be clean and organized and should not be very, very long sentences. It should just be little bullets of important information. I have 3 examples of how you can do that. Let's say you're taking notes on this section and there's no subtopics. You could just write the topic here and then a couple sentences with bullet points of important information. Let's say that the topic has multiple subtopics. You can write the topic here, subtopic in a bullet point, then another bullet point and write out some explanations, some important information. The next subtopic, some more information. Or let's say it's a timeline or step-by-step process. You could write the topic out, then draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw pictures or write little bits of information. Whatever works for you. However you organize this middle section, the actual notes you take, I want you to do what works best for you. These are just examples. As you go through and you're reading and taking notes, remember, anytime you come to a term that you don't know, you're going to write it down on the side just to make a list. Later you'll make study note cards or digital note cards of that. So when you're done all of this and you get to the end of your content page, you'll notice that there are questions. You are going to answer these questions in your notebook. So when you're done this, the vocab section's done, these notes are done, you're going to write questions and you're going to answer them on your notebook. I don't want you to answer them on the page because when the test is about to come up or you want to quiz yourself, you can go to your notes in your binder and practice and answer these questions off the top of your head. When they're blank and you can't see the answers, it gives you a more accurate representation of how much you know. Then if you need to review, you can just look at them next to your answers and practice. So what about this add-on section? This add-on section is for anything you want to add to the topics that you forgot to do. Maybe as you're going over the questions and you're writing answers, you say to yourself, oh, I forgot. That looks like it's important. I didn't put that under this topic. You can just add it over here. Or what's definitely going to happen is as we're working in class, I might explain something to you or tell you a better word for something or a different way to think about it. You can add that over here. Any add-ons are for things that will help you understand this material or extra stuff that you forgot to put in this material. That's the general overview of how your notes are going to be organized. You'll do this a lot and you'll get better at this as you go along. Please keep it consistent, clean, and organized, and take your time. The more you work with the material, the more you'll learn it.